Hey, good morning, everyone. You guys like doing this earlier in the morning? I know some people are night owls. Some people like lunchtime. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Salty. Hi, Audie, Angel, Poppy, Jeannie, Just Me, Brandy. Hi, Squishy. RC. Hi, Brett. Angel was in here last night. I know sometimes. I know. I'm an early morning person. Just me. It works for me too. It seems like since COVID, everybody has a different schedule. So it used to be if you had something at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're like, oh no, you know, especially on the weekends. So I'm gonna let a couple more people get in here. Brandy, did you notice I disappeared for a minute?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, my electricity flickered.
I'm hoping that, like, this time my phone doesn't kick me off. For some reason, if a message comes in, it will kick me off. So I went ahead and muted everything, so I hope that fixes it.
Oh, okay. Squishy, I wake up early because of work and a child I miss sleeping in. I can't sleep in anymore. Hi, Tina. Tina, you need to come back to Long Hoax. I know you got mad at me, but you need to come back.
I missed that.
It's not uncommon.
I was like, yeah, it happens to me a lot too.
I know, I love Tina in there. Put on Do Not Disturb. I know. Tina's back. No, I just don't have the gift of sleep. There's some people that can just like almost sleep on demand. I've just never been that person. I don't know.
It depends on my schedule for me.
Tina, I did get mad at you, but I got over it. See, that's how we start the morning, everybody. We can get mad at Brooks, but we get over it. Brandy could write that book. All right. I actually had to ask Squishy earlier. I'm like, are you mad at me? Because she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. It is an internal alarm clock. It is. All right, so I'm going to jump into this. I think most everybody knows the case. But if you don't, just as much of a recap as I can do, because a recap with this case would take a day and a half. But this is parental alienation. Michael Long has been alienating his daughter, Sophie, from his ex-wife, Kelly, for a number of years. This has been an ongoing custody battle. It came to a head, we thought, last August when he wrote, produced, directed a video where Sophie claimed sexual abuse by her stepfather. A few people took it hook, line, and sinker, and everything else Michael was doing. And a few of us, which are all chatting this morning, those that are up, were like, no, something here doesn't make sense. So we've watched Michael spiral out of control all year long. As of today, Sophie has been missing. Michael was court ordered to hand her over to, I don't know if it's a family member or family friend, but they disappeared. And I think all of us saw it coming, but didn't want it to happen.
Right.
Yeah, the Stand with Sophie thing, Maddie. Yep, exactly what it was. Exactly. I know there's one creator saying that Sophie is not missing because she's with her dad. You're right, Brett. A child is in the middle. It is. Parental alienation is child abuse. When you convince a child that their parent is doing something to them, doing something wrong. I know, just me. We're coming on an anniversary. We all need to get together. But when you convince a child that their parent is this evil, nasty person, just because you don't like them or they did you wrong, that's child abuse. You know, that's a reflection of themselves. But I mean, he took it way a step further. So she is missing, even though she's with him. We don't know where he is. But a missing persons report was filed in Guadalupe County. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know what's going on in Texas down there that they can't get something figured out. I think it has more to do with family court. What do you think, Brandy?
I do too. That's why it's taking as long as it's taking, is because of the fact that it's a family court matter.
Because there was one lady in the group and she was explaining how it goes from family court, basically civil, to criminal. He has to basically refuse to hand her over. So, I mean, he's been basically planning this for a long time.
Yeah.
And in the process, look at all the harm that's been done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Squishy, exactly. Where's John? Jeannie's the only one left on the compound. I love that they call it the compound instead of the property or the ranch. It just sounds so David Koresh. It's so fitting. But I mean, the harassment, the doxing, the fact that his ex-wife, the mother of his children, had to go to a hotel with police watching her for her safety. I mean, a judge had to leave from Texas to Louisiana because people wouldn't leave her house alone. I thought Brandy said, I stand with Will. Okay, she said, I can't stand Will. You never know. But if he refuses to hand her over, so it should be a civil matter now? No, criminal. If I guess from what I was hearing, that when they have the hearing and he doesn't produce her, then it's criminal. And it doesn't fit the criteria for an Amber Alert. When he had, hello.
Hello.
He had Sophie's army. I mean, there was over 200,000 people in there. Brett, it's not kidnapping if you're a parent.
And he's also got custody of her right now.
So when he had Sophie's army, see, that's the thing I don't understand about the family courts. I have a hard time believing they don't know all that's gone down. They were harassing CPS workers, finding people's addresses.
Yes.
They took
Courtney was behind all of that. I've seen proof of her messages and her putting, like sending people after all of these people within the court system, the judge, the lawyer, the gal, everything.
Well, she did. And, a lot of people are like, well, she has a change of heart now. She was a victim as well. I personally think that she was part of the layering of coaching.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I really do. And I think there's a few others too. I really do, because it was so extreme, the things that were being said. Now, remember, before this viral video last August, Michael had lost custody of his kids. He wasn't allowed to see them. He disappeared for a while. He went to Arizona to start selling rocks and shit. He has never financially supported his children. I don't know what little bit in child support he pays, but it's nothing what Kelly does. She works full time. She owns her home. I mean, if she still lives there, I don't know, because she couldn't go back there for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because then, of course, he had the GoFundMe, which raised almost $250,000.
And you know that he siphoned a lot of that away. That's why he's able to be gone like he is right now.
Oh, agreed. Tina, you're exactly right. No. Because there's like 160,000 unaccounted for. All of that didn't go to lawyers, and if it did, this would be a done deal.
Right.
Opinions. Should child custody battles be state to state, or federal? That's a good question. I don't know. Because every state's different. So when we have these conversations, it's like, well, in Missouri, they do it this way. Well, in Texas, they do it this way. So after him and Sophie, and supposedly his dad disappeared last Wednesday, and guys, remember, his dad's elderly. His dad's like 78. I think someone said 82, but I was corrected that he's 78. Either way, he doesn't need to be on this sojourn with Michael and Sophie. Someone needs to get some sense. He's very good with computers. He just needs to Photoshop a Mickey Mouse and a palm tree by her and act like they were at Disney World and act like nothing happened and be done with it. I mean, honestly, I think we would all be relieved. Audie, you don't think that his dad is with them? Hey, you guys, as you get a second, can you like the video and subscribe to the page, to the channel? So, I mean, most of you know, but this spiral has been crazy because about this time last August when the video went viral, most people would be mortified. Nope, Tina, no warrant yet. Unless something happened late yesterday afternoon or overnight, nope, nothing.
Yeah, it's still basically stagnant. It is.
Because, I mean, when that video went viral, which, by the way, guys, he knows a lot about social media. People take videos every day and, you know, they put on YouTube or whatever, people see it, but this went viral. Okay, he knows certain people that can get things done.
Well, there's also the rumors circulating that he's having, you know, he's getting help from father's rights groups as well.
And I'm all about father's rights. I wish
yes,
the father's rights group knew what he was doing.
Right.
Do your investigation. Tina, I had to ring the bell a day or two ago because I wasn't. Tina, you know how many people have said they're not getting notifications? That's why I'm having to like text and like message people. I put it on the page. But anyway, I mean, after the video went viral last August, Michael was riding high. He was a celebrity, guys. He was tweeting at President Trump. He was tweeting Taylor Swift. He put some crazy message in the army to Dr. Phil saying, hey, I know you've been trying to get a hold of me, but I've been busy. He would do anything to talk to Dr. Phil. He has these grandiose ideas of Super Soul Sunday with Oprah and sitting across from Dr. Phil, tell him how he saved his daughter when he coached this entire thing. Yeah, Squishy, we'll get to that. What went down on Labor Day. Ooh, good point, Audie. Did you see that, Brandy?
Yes.
But I also believe he'd be capable of going way off the grid, like legit off the grid. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He can go to those Texas canyons. Nobody would know where he's at.
He's had a year to plan this out.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a long process because he's not going to be found for a little bit. I mean, I hate saying that, but he's mad. And he's had money and a year to plan this all out. So unfortunately, it's going to be bad.
Well, I mean, you just said a mouthful. He's mad. He didn't get his way. This guy doesn't understand societal norms. He's defiant. I know some people say he's a narcissist. I don't know. Maybe he is. But he's certainly defiant because what applies to you and me, everybody in chat, everybody listening.
Right.
Dr. Phil wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. He wants no part of this. And he had the army blowing up Dr. Phil's page. But what applies to everyone here doesn't apply to him. What we have to do to get ready for the day to be productive people, that's not anywhere. That doesn't rack around in his mind. Yep, I agree. I agree with the off the grid thing. So he did get a hearing last September. I believe it was September 3rd, because that's when I realized, because I watched the whole thing, that this has been going on for quite a while. And so many people were feeling sorry for him. And I couldn't understand what these women were thinking. There was women that were thinking he was handsome.
I still don't see it.
I had to get rid of a few women in the group that said they wish he was her daddy. That's a different level of problems. Nobody wants Michael Long to be your daddy. Just me, barf. I know.
Right.
So after he was awarded visitation with the two boys and Sophie for Labor Day, that's when things started getting super crazy. And anybody that wants to grab the link and come in and share some memories, please do. Because the Amazon wish list kept me busy
yes.
for days.
I saw a comment in Hoax earlier that mentioned the batteries. And now that I think about it, that makes so much sense now. All those batteries that he needed would really come in handy right about now.
I asked that and people were like, "You idiot, it's for the kids' toys." I'm like, no. He was buying tons and tons and tons of them.
Right.
That and Starbucks gift cards.
And any parent knows that you don't want to buy batteries for your kids' toys. They're loud and annoying. What the hell? You hide the batteries.
Brett, what are you asking about the daughter? She's still with him. She's with him and supposedly the grandfather. For some reason, I don't think the grandfather's there. I wish I still had copies of that Amazon wish list, because everyone kept saying, well, he's not making it, someone else is. When I started seeing women's perfumes, scarves, and things like that, and then people were arguing with me, oh, my daughter loves scarves. I'm like, I don't think anyone's understanding that. They don't need an Amazon wish list. And that was bribery to get her to continue to lie.
Yep.
Free spirit. Hello. Came in just as you said, some women think ML is good looking. Well, yeah, there's one laying around his camper drinking Blue Moon as we speak. 7:22 a.m. in the morning. You better believe it. Let's see, what is that? He is brainwashing her. He's good at that. He really is. Squishy, he made that list that had furniture and shit on it. I know, and stuff for him. I mean, like colognes and stuff. Herbal Mommy, does he even have a driver's license? Because every video he takes, he's not the one driving. Remember the jamming out video after Sophie'd supposedly been raped by 4 grown men and they're jamming out Taylor Swift? He's always in the passenger seat. He doesn't have one. Yeah, he doesn't. So then as we're going through this, people are actually arguing over who's going to buy the coolest thing from Amazon. And these are people that have their own children with Christmas around the corner.
Yeah.
And a pandemic. Absolutely insane. The 2 women that were fighting over the Lego castle that was like $450, I was like, I'm done. I'm out. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, they received tons of stuff. One lady and I had a long talk because she kept going back. She kept saying over and over that she gets paid every Friday. He drove to the casino. He could be at the casino. You think he's at the casino now, Herbal Mommy? Yeah, you're right, Angel. Yeah, people were actually buying groceries. They were posting receipts, bragging about how much in groceries they bought them. Yeah, they did. Uh-huh. So there were several people, and some were on like COVID unemployment, some still getting paid, and they're like, well, every time I get paid, I put money in. I still think that is the most bizarre behavior I've ever seen. I shared other GoFundMe's hoping that it would get shared to the Army of children with cancer that truly need help. Yeah, they did name that cat Freedom. And that cat's all matted up. Yeah, did they take the cat? The Starbucks cards blew my mind because this is supposedly supposed to be for Sophie and the boys.
Right.
I don't think they drink Starbucks. That's more about him and Courtney. At one time, he did try to come into Long Hoax. And I mean, he filled out the questionnaire as if it was a resume.
They've all tried it at some point. Jeannie kept trying repeatedly. Her and Courtney both have tried repeatedly, even though Courtney acts like she doesn't remember what group it is.
Maddie, the boys are with their mom, Kelly. Yeah, and I didn't have the heart to block Jeannie because it was funny talking to you every time you got irritated that she was trying to get back in. I have to have some fun in my day. So as we go on, he eventually got to a point that he blamed his own sons of sexual abuse.
Yep.
How many people are involved with sexual abuse now?
And you had like also with that, Courtney was recording them too, basically trying to set them up.
Well, she didn't want them around.
Right.
Sophie's the cash cow. Those boys weren't making any money. He tried that. He tried to do he tried to do that. He had like a video of, I really don't want to bring the other boys' names up, but he was trying to do something like that with the middle boy.
Yeah, he did it. He did it on their birthday. It was one of their birthdays, and he went on live and accused them of the most atrocious things that you could possibly do to your child.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I'm trying to read these comments. Mine are coming in kind of slow. Does anyone have the video for where he did that? Where he did justice for the middle son, RC? Yeah, I think we do in the group. Yeah, save Squishy Cat. Look, Squishy Cat's in here talking to everybody. Squishy Cat doesn't deserve that. So, as sick as people are, for whatever reason, when Michael addressed what we call the Army, which Sophie's Army, and they even use the initials sometimes, SA, that means sexual abuse. Please don't think he didn't mean to do that. Yeah, Annie privated all of that. He said while his ex-wife, mother of his children, daughter and sons were holed up at a hotel because of what he had brought on. And I'm talking what he brought on was holy hell, because this woman could have died. His own kids could have died.
Yeah.
I don't think the Army would have hurt the kids, but I think they would have taken them because they're crazy. He said that 4 men came in Sophie's room and sexually assaulted her. Sophie is a little girl. And when I said, look, I'm a 45-year-old woman, and if I was sexually assaulted, my old ass, by 4 grown men, I'd be in a hospital right now. Please do not tell me you guys think that she's dancing, she's running around, she's doing piggyback rides with her dad right now, and you truly believe that that girl was raped by 4 grown men last night. Do you know what I was told? Michael wouldn't lie. Michael wouldn't lie. How could he make that up?
And it was all while her mother turned her head, and so did the police that night.
Yeah, and they let 4 men in. Yeah, they did.
Like, if I was FaceTiming my child and she had told me that she was just raped by 4 men in a hotel, God himself could not keep me away from that hotel room. People would be dead. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah, she was horseback riding. She was dancing in the car. The judge said for her not to be around any strange men. Like Squishy said, he picked her up the next day. First of all, he wanted a caravan to meet them for Labor Day because he knew what was going to go down. He knew he had some fireworks planned. And he has this dude from Indiana show up. Oh, Audie wants to come on. He has this dude from Indiana. This guy had to pay his own freight to get there. Michael didn't even pay for this guy from Indiana to come up and cover what he knew was going to go down on Labor Day weekend. Hi, Audie. What's up?
Good morning. Can you
Good
hear me
morning.
okay? I love this because I can use like Bluetooth and I'm in the car. There's no kids in the background. It's like perfect. So here's my question. Like, this always has bothered me. When that hotel story came out, okay, and certain creators were telling it as if it was like some fable, the story on YouTube that they were telling it is like, oh my gosh, this horror story that happened. How come at that moment the people in charge, the powers that be, I mean, maybe I'm naive to this, but weren't they like, wow, okay, this has gone too far? I mean, this is such a blatant lie, that these people are crazy and we have to intervene. I mean, when you have him accusing of, like you said, 4 men with, I think they at one point they even said there was a police officer involved, if I'm correct, right?
He did lean that way. He did.
Yes, like, or that they allowed it to happen or something like that.
Right.
Like that he pretty much said that, and that Kelly, you might have said this when I was in StreamYard and I just missed it, that mom was holding a knife to her throat. Correct?
Yes.
Didn't another creator say that she held a knife to her throat, that if she said
Annie
anything,
did.
she would kill her?
Yep.
It was Annie.
Yes. Okay. So I wasn't sure if you could say, if you wanted me to say anything. So here's my question. At that moment, when all of that kind of came to a head, and of course it was never proven, it was just basic craziness that Michael was fitting into. Why didn't the court, this is just my question, and I know family court sucks. I've been through it myself. Thank God, nothing to this degree. We used mediation and it went well, thank God. But like, why didn't they get involved then and be like, yeah, this guy's like pathological. There's something really wrong that he's telling the world, this like made up story that's so heinous and so damaging to so many people. Like, he cannot possibly be a good fit, a good fit for these kids. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, nobody ever, like, there was no consequences for that. And that was like so terrible.
It was
And that's what I don't understand either, is that that she wasn't removed from his care as well. Like, I get having to investigate Kelly, the mom and everything, but why leave her with him too?
Exactly. I mean, I understand, like, in a perfect world, we would want our children with one parent or the other, right? But sometimes certain circumstances, even temporarily, it might not seem like the most pleasant thing at the moment, but it's the safest, best thing at the moment. Whether it was a family member or whatever it had to be, but like, that had to be, like, this guy just came with thousands of people were listening to that, and then it was spread like wildfire that 4 men, even though there was police presence there, went in and assaulted this little girl, and then her mother held a knife to her throat. Like it was like out of a book. It was so ridiculous that nobody ever said, like, oh yeah, yeah, that's not true. Like,
Well, here's a point right here.
Yeah.
Here's a point right here. Brett said, does anyone think that the more someone becomes a social figure like ML, the more they influence others and can get away with things? Yeah, because when you scare people to death to a point where a judge leaves their home and goes to Louisiana because they're being harassed so bad, And they chalked it up to, well, those are social media rumors. They didn't really know what to do with it, but they put this girl through all these exams. All of these exams. Yeah. Yeah. Michael thinks he is a superstar. What is an SO, Brett?
Sociopath? Oh no, SO. I really believe in my heart right now, like if they are like, I'm still up in the air about exactly what's going on at this moment because I keep like changing my mind as I hear more information because I don't know if it's true or not. But I do believe, and I said this in chat, that he definitely has the ability and the means at this point, and he's, like you said, has had a year to plan to like really go off grid, like in the mountains, in the desert. Like that's what he like craves anyway, right? Like he loves that life. So like I could see him, if he really his intentions are to disappear with that little girl, doing something like that. And that's going to be like, it's a vast wide country.
He posted pictures on his Facebook of the Guadalupe Mountains. Those are in West Texas. And if you've never been there, it's very vast. There's no signal. He could easily get lost.
Yeah. And it's so frightening. He is like really, and he is smart for all the stupid ass things that he does. He's not a dummy. Like, he's an asshole. I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to say that. I apologize. He's a jerk.
You can say whatever you want.
But he's not stupid. He's very clever, and he's very and he like you guys were talking about earlier. He has tapped into resources like a lot of, and not that this is political or anything, but a lot of like extremist right wing groups like that will assist him. And I think that's what these people live for. And not that the fathers' rights organizations are bad by any means, because of course they're necessary. There's plenty of really good fathers out there that get, a raw deal, but and could use the support. But then there's extremes in every circumstance, right? So there's even people in that side of it that are willing to go, that believe him. There's just people that still believe him, and that's what's so dangerous. Like, it's crazy.
But then I don't think he could possibly live off the grid because he feeds off of others, especially social media.
Yeah, but he's got Sophie. If he's got Sophie, I think all is right in his world, and that's what's even creepier.
Well, like in that phone call when he was talking to her, he was like, "Are you ready to spread your angel wings?" And I was like, "You free?"
Really terrible. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, there's something wrong with him. There really is. Yeah, the letter to Alex Jones was something else. As entertaining as some people, I don't mean you guys, but some people love the entertainment of this case. Let's be honest. It's scary. It is scary that this can be done to a mother, that you can use the courts, that you can lie.
He
and blame it on your
the
child.
court system. Yeah, he weaponized the family court system away from her, and he weaponized sexual assault in general, or SA in general. He used that as a weapon because he knew how powerful that was, and how people will trauma bond with that, and how people won't that's something that sparks something in people where they won't question anything, right? Because they want to stand by the victims, and we want to support the victims. And he knew all of this.
And he knew what demographic to prey to.
Of course. Yes, he sure did.
Look at the women that attached themselves to him.
Yep.
There were people painting pictures of Michael. If you look in Long Hoax, some of the earlier people, because it was a small group at first, really small. And we basically talked about how crazy Michael is. And somehow the word got out to the army, and it was hundreds of people a day trying to come in. And they all had the right answers to the questions. And some people came in and they were like, "Oh, thank God, I finally found my people, because that guy's crazy." And I mean, it took a while, but it finally got honed down. I think we got some people in now that don't quite understand how we roll, but we'll get that figured out. He knew his demographic.
So
Black
what do
Lives
you
Matter.
guys?
What the fuck, guys?
Oh,
What
sorry.
happened to you have to believe the child? Idiots. Are you new, Black Lives Matter? You've been coming into a lot of our chats.
Black Lives Matter is not one of the nicest.
You've been coming into a lot. Do you want to take the link and come up? Of course people believe the child. I believe that Sophie is abused. Not in the way he's saying. I think parental alienation is abuse. I also believe the fact that forensic child psychologists, all of everything she's had done has not shown one shred of medical evidence that child has been abused. Yes, of course you're welcome here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did it, and maybe I just missed it, or maybe it just never got talked about again, and then I'll jump down just because I'm pulling up to work. But did anything ever, because I heard Swilly say something last night that I thought was interesting. He said it very vigorously. I don't know what other adjective to use. He kept saying there's no criminal charges. There's no criminal charges. Everybody's been exonerated, or I'm not sure if he used the word exonerated, but he kept saying this is a civil, this is a nasty custody battle, da 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 da. And I'm thinking in my mind, there was a time where he kept saying, wait for the evidence to come out from the SANE exam, and we're going to see these criminal charges. Like, he's never, ever come out on his platform and say, like, okay, the charges have been dropped, and they're innocent, and this, that, and the other thing, right? They just stopped talking about it. So I'm assuming that somewhere, because everything is sealed now, correct, from that side of it?
Yes.
That's kind of what I heard. Yeah, so we can never see if, like, the formal, like, where any charges weren't filed or the SANE exam ever came back or whatever happened with that. But I just find that, like, they never came out and apologized for being so certain that this child was hurt by Jake and whoever else. They never came out and said, okay, we were wrong, and we're sorry to them for doing that to them, and there was no evidence, no proof. It just kind of went away, and then suddenly became a custody issue, suddenly became a private marital issue, and we're not going to talk about it anymore. I just found that so, like, I don't know, that just bothered me so much.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they didn't apologize either.
Yeah, like, they never even said, like, until last night, until I heard him say there's no criminal charges. There's, this is over. It's a private family matter now. And I was like, what? This is you.
Randy, how long have we heard this is over?
Oh, I'm sure.
We've heard this is done, this is over, there's nothing to talk about for months.
Yeah. And it's funny how Will has flip-flopped like that, because he was one of the most irresponsible creators out there in the beginning. And now all of a sudden it's nobody's business.
Yep. And he even said, like, even in this last couple of days, he even said, I'm not so sure. Like, he did say, I'm not so sure she wasn't abused. I'm still thinking about that, like, original video. But then last night he was like, nope, it's a custody issue. There's nothing criminal happened, and we need to mind our own business and leave them alone. And it's a messy custody or marital, whatever you call it.
Right. See, I don't watch him, so I missed that. But that's basically, I get that's he's saying then that what we've been, that I guess she wasn't. That's what I'm taking from him saying
that's
that.
That's what I mean. That's like, he won't just come out and say, like, oh, I was wrong, and, like, I
right. Oh yeah, he will never admit that he was wrong, ever.
Maybe I just, like, struggle, like, I don't know. I just, like, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. Like, I
Right.
need to do that. I have to be like, you know what, I was wrong. It makes me feel better, like, to clear my conscience if I'm wrong about something. Like, I don't know. I never understood that about the two of them. I feel like Annie, at least, I don't know, something, she doesn't piss me off as much as he does for some reason. I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's just his attitude about everything that makes it that much worse, where she kind of just ignores it and hopes it'll go away, I guess. But
oh, by the way, when Black Lives Matter was talking earlier, I think they were talking about how Will and Annie kept saying, you have to believe the child. They
Right.
were about us.
Yeah.
So I apologize. That's my fault for misunderstanding.
Yeah, the believe the child stuff. All right,
Which
well,
you
I'm going to
should.
jump down.
That's it right there, Brett. His ego will never allow him to admit anything.
Yeah, and who are we speaking about now who can't admit they're wrong?
Will.
Ah, but we were talking about Michael. There's just too many.
Right? There's a whole list of people like that.
Well, you know, and Katie really, you know, she stepped out without a crystal ball and started doing lives about this again. And she's like blaming herself for, like, you know, letting people hang. And before a lot of people even knew about Sophie, a lot of people started from the Kelly side. There was already a lot of people in Hoax, but a lot of people jumped on because of Critical K.
Yeah.
But Katie had called it out just a few days after the video. And, you know, a certain creator is saying she's doing this for likes and clicks and subs. Her channel is basically a small city. She's not looking for all of that. You know, she's doing the right thing. She's helping out this family. Oh, Maddie, I know. You know, and I don't know if how many of you know this, but when Katie first went on Twitter and she called this whole thing out, her own safety, her family's safety was in jeopardy. Afterwards, when I started the group, I was warned by quite a few members. They said, these people will dox you. I had never even heard the word before. I thought it was a typo and it meant something else. I had never even heard the word. All right, there's the link if anybody wants to come up. So I don't know what went down between Thanksgiving and New Year's, but for whatever reason, Michael decided to trade in Courtney for another model. Now, the only reason that we let her into the group is because we were told they were done, over, that she can't stand him, etc.
And that she had done it just to get info. Remember, it was a setup.
Which was even weirder to me, but I'm not going to say anything.
Sounds high schoolish.
Right. She was in the group not even 3 days, and she called Kelly a whore.
Yep.
The woman with a full-time job, taking care of kids, whose life was threatened, I don't even know if she's still in her house. I can't imagine going back there after what people did to her. So yeah, that was insane. Squishy. Yeah, she's probably on the compound. Where else is she going to go? Does anybody know where else she's going to go? She's got his mom fetching beers for her. Where else is she going to go? Only a couple days. Today's a week.
What he's doing when he's doing that, he's basically saying that any child, unless there's an Amber Alert, is not missing. Period. Like, that's so irresponsible in any case. It doesn't matter, not even just this one, any case. That's what he's basically saying.
But an Amber Alert is a specific criteria.
You think people would know that in true crime, but unfortunately they don't.
Well, I mean, I was actually going to talk about this today with the Summer Wells case. I mean, there's a ton of active Amber Alerts.
Yeah, he was saying, he also, he was saying, and a report being filed doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean she's missing. That report does not mean that she's missing.
Well, it doesn't mean that she's school shopping. Doesn't mean that she's at the dinner table every night. Brett, the compound is basically a ranch in Texas. They call it the compound. And like I said, it gives me the Waco feels when they say that. Thank you, Just Me. Thank you. The Valo kids didn't have an Amber Alert, and we knew damn good and well.
Right.
Good morning, Gina. I mean, they had to go to Hawaii to find Chad and Lori, and they told them, you have this many days to produce the kids. And she went to jail. So either that's going to happen here, or like I said, he's going to Photoshop Mickey and Minnie around her and say, hey, we just went on vacation.
And that was at first, that's what they were putting out at first, or what Alyssa was putting out anyways, is that supposedly he had told Alyssa that they were on vacation. They went away for the weekend or something.
Well, the weekend's over.
Right.
I agree, Angel. The true crime community is just nothing but drama anymore.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's not true crime, it's drama.
And I personally cannot stand that. Either, you talk about the case, you discuss the case, but the people that all they want, I mean, if it's their soap opera, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in people's minds. You can figure it out really quick. So spring was kind of quiet. Now Michael has a lawsuit. Brandy, do you want to talk about the lawsuit? Because if I talk about it, I'm going to start laughing.
No, I'm the same way. It just irritates my soul.
I'm just wondering, in the lawsuit, of all of the defendants, who got served first? Nancy Grace?
Right. I was going to say, was it Nancy? It was probably Nancy first.
Well, she did call him lazy. Governor Abbott, I don't know. Oklahoma Department of Transportation.
Yeah, I don't even have the list in front of me of everybody that was on there that he was suing.
Yahoo, thank you, Tina. Google. Anything else? This is going to be trivia for a while. Who is getting sued?
And how anybody can look at that lawsuit with a straight face is beyond me.
Well, and kind of back to what Audie was saying when she was on panel earlier, did that not make someone scratch their head and say, he's not right?
Right.
Collin County, Guadalupe County, KL, JB, Bing. Hi, Pamela. Yep, the sheriff's office. CNN, yeah. Nancy Grace, and yeah. Was Nancy Grace ever on CNN? She was on Headline News, I thought.
I've never been a Nancy Grace fan, so I honestly have no idea.
Well, she's kind of off her rocker anymore. She did that not the interview, but that piece about Corey, the little boy in New Jersey that died.
Yeah.
She gets her facts all messed up. I'm going to say this forever. Ever since the Casey Anthony case, she's lost her marbles. I mean, that is, she won't stop with that. That's her white buffalo, man. And almost anytime you get her in a live, she brings up Tot Mom. And I'm like, stop. Yeah, I think she's got a show on Fox. So, I mean, is he in contempt of court? Are they going to order him back to court? Do we know?
He is in contempt of court. Whoever he was supposed to turn Sophie over to, that's when he went into contempt.
Is that not a crime? You know, word on the street, Herbal Mommy, is that when all is said and done, Kelly's lawyer has some stuff planned. Don't know if it's true. No idea, but you just can't say whatever you want to say. You can say, yeah, it's my opinion. But I mean, when you're stating something as a fact, especially what was incited on that woman, I don't know. Yeah, and speaking of Kelly, I kind of thought everybody in the group understood that we're very pro-Kelly and very anti-parental alienation.
You would think.
What's up with these nutcases going, why isn't Kelly doing more? Do they not understand the woman was fearing for her life?
I honestly don't
a
think
year ago?
people who are saying that have not been watching the case from the beginning, or they've just been sporadically checking in. I don't know which one it is, but they have no idea what they were talking about. And they were really annoying me to the point that I even posted in the group that we were for Kelly.
Yeah, and how can Kelly and Jake even continue the relationship? What man wouldn't be scared to death to walk back in?
Right. Or even anybody that, like, let's say that she was to move on from Jake, anything from here on out, you know?
I'll tell you, Kelly's got more restraint than me.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, she's being challenged by a creator right now saying, what does jail matter if you break the gag order? What's contempt of court? Well, 6 feet under, you can't take care of your kids. And if you play into this game, and you become the bad guy, it doesn't help. She's trying to protect the kids under her roof. Not to mention, she's got a baby. Exactly, Pam. How can she? How would you even get to know somebody and say, yeah, I'm raising my kids, I'm divorced. Let me tell you what happened. A couple of internet searches are going to go, whoa. I hope that doesn't happen. Who in here would actually go against what a judge ordered? I know we've had a lot of cowboys in the group lately saying, oh, I wouldn't care because I'm a mama bear. I would do this. I would do that.
Yeah.
I get so sick of that stuff.
I do too. They have no idea what they would do. And nobody has any idea what they would do in this situation. And I get so sick of people saying they do. This is a situation unlike any other I've ever seen. And I don't even have that kind of ego to say, oh, well, if it was me, I would do this. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, not with your kids on the line. When you want the end result to be your kids happy, healthy, in school, getting educated, raising them correctly, safe, you're not going to go rogue and do these things. But she's got to be scared to death right now. She knows him. This is the guy that said he was rewriting the Bible.
Yep.
I still want to know how that's going. I agree, Desi. If she did a press conference, he's been honed in on her for a long time because he doesn't get his way with her. And nothing sets off a person with his personality more than being told no. I don't know anything about Kelly ever violating a court order.
Nope.
And you guys want to know what's super sick? Besides everything we've talked about, people actually doubt other sexual abuse victims now. When we started the Stolen Innocence group, just a little rundown, little girl in Florida, terrible sexual abuse by her stepfather. Her mother knew about it. Her mother encouraged it. Her mother covered it up to the point that she went to Target, bought a sewing kit to repair her daughter from being raped from, at that time, her boyfriend.
Yes.
So started the group, put it on the page. We had people coming in saying, this is another Sophie Long. This never happened. On the mother's Facebook saying, this is another Sophie Long. This didn't happen.
Right.
So it's like we have this teeter-totter of craziness. People that will never believe sexual abuse again. And some people that said, no matter what, this happened to her. Even the foreman in the hotel. There is one woman that won't forget it. Hi, Janine. Do you guys think that he's doing this because people have been ignoring him? And who thinks, I was surprised when the gag order came out that it was against Kelly as well, because Kelly hadn't done anything. Why would you put a gag order on a woman who hasn't said anything?
Right. Yeah, he
Probably
is the
because
one.
they didn't want to set him off, I'm assuming. What do you think?
I don't know, because he was the one that was constantly, he never once held any respect towards the gag order.
Yep, you're right. With her following the orders, it shows that she's a more stable parent. Yeah, she works full time, takes care of her home. I mean, she's more stable. He wants possession of his daughter and to punish his ex-wife. I think he wants a band of sister wives, is what I think.
Yeah, that he would be happy with that.
I mean, I think that he is that type of man. He thinks he's something else. He'd have no problem with them all living out at the camper and just catering to his every whim and grandiose idea. And he's got a bunch. Don't forget, this man is not stupid. He went to Georgetown. Somewhere he went off his rocker. They want to make sure he followed it, so they attached to Kelly. Well, and that, I mean, I guess that's fair. So I don't know what you guys think the next steps are going to be. I don't know anything about Texas law. Family court is a swamp. Not going to lie.
Yep.
And once they know a kid is lying and they've been coached by a parent, I don't know when parental alienation is going to be a crime, but it's going to have to be at some point. He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and so far he really has. Yeah, he has. He's like the dude from Tiger King. I can't get that picture out of my head now. Brandy, do you know how to Photoshop?
Yes.
Can you do Michael on Tiger King?
Yes. And if I can't, I have some really good friends who are like shoopers. It's what they do. They sit and Photoshop, or, you know, they shoot their faces onto everything. And it's like flawless. I mean, they really are amazing at it.
Yeah, that's just going to get us in more trouble. ML is playing this out until he gets an appeal or something into the court. How do you appeal something that you broke? I mean, if you broke the court order and you did not produce your child, then how do you appeal it when you broke it? Weirder things have happened, and I doubt nothing in this case can happen. Angel said, do it. Yeah, I mean, it's not even so much about being a narcissist. It's like rules of society don't apply to him. It's the strangest thing. I mean, the judge says, here's a court order. Produce your daughter. Nah. Takes off.
I can tell because, you know, there were screenshots shared of John's comments in a public group before he deactivated his profile. So I'm pretty sure that they were in the process of reunification and everything, because based on John's comments, he's still saying that everybody in that county is against them. So I think it's safe to say that it was leaning in Kelly's favor, because that's why he's taken off and he's running, you know. And if that still doesn't speak to all of his supporters, because he still has so many supporters out there that it's crazy. But if that still doesn't say anything to his supporters, then they're just as bad as he is. They're just as crazy. Exactly, Maddie.
Yeah, it's going to be reunification all over again, Maddie, because she has to be reunified with her mother as it is. And imagine that. Okay, so
Right.
one, you know your daughter has done this, but you can't be mad at your daughter because you know what her father did. But you know your whole life has been in an upheaval because
Right.
she did it. But you know that your sons didn't play into it. Then here's your sons, and it's like, you know, your sister's coming home, and they're going to go, whoa, we don't want to go through that again. So they have so much stuff going on. Last year, it was in Kelly's favor, and he blew up social media. This year, her favor, he runs. He's always got a plan, Charity.
Yep.
All the time.
Black Lives Matter. Oh, that's funny.
How many Black Lives Matter? Can we just call you BLM? Yeah, I want to know, how many does it take to change a light bulb? And also, Kelly has a good job. Who's going to pay for all this therapy? Is the state going to do it through the family court, or is it all going to be on Kelly?
Probably all on Kelly.
I have a feeling every nun, he cons stupid women into doing it. I love that. Oh, everyone's answering the joke now. This is hilarious. I just have a feeling that all of this is going to fall on Kelly, and it's extremely, extremely sad. Just me, none. He doesn't do manual labor. Yeah, that is hilarious. Does anybody want to grab the link and come up and chat? Brett, I'd love to go toe-to-toe with ML, give him a little bit of New York love. Could you imagine? We all got his number. Pam, I hope Kelly sues as well. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's just going to let it go. And I don't mean let it go. I mean, move forward. Like, she's not going to poke that bear anymore.
Right.
You know, and
I
one
honestly feared.
creator basically said, I don't apologize for shit. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, then don't.
Right.
All right, Brandy, what do you have to add?
Honestly, I think we summed it all up.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering, like I said, how this is going to wind down, if it's ever going to be over. Is this going to continue till she's 18?
Honestly, I see it continuing past when she's 18. This is going to be a years and years and years worth of therapy. And if he's still in her life in any way, shape, or form, which I kind of see happening, just how it is, how it's turned out anyways. It's just going to be a battle. Like, my heart breaks for Kelly. Like, it really
Mine
does.
too.
Black Lives Matter. That
That's our
I
biggest
felt
fear.
that way. You know, I'm scared. I'm scared for this girl and her mother.
Does anybody remember the body cam from the police when they went to Kelly's house?
Yes, I do. I was actually just rewatching that the other day.
And the look on her face when she's telling them,
Right.
you know, this is what he's been doing for years. For years. And I think it's kind of crazy that certain people these disruptors have decided to kind of go underground a little bit. Like they're not making as much noise as they did last year.
No.
But I think they're going to be ready anytime. Because, I mean, if you guys remember, Labor Day, he had a plan. None of this just happened. So when Anna was on TikTok, live streaming, saying, we need big men, we need guns, we're at the compound of Sophie Long, like they're there to protect her. You know, everyone believes that their child is special, don't get me wrong, but something in his mind tells him Sophie is something other than just his daughter.
Yeah.
That's what I've always thought. He has to be the hero, though. Let's see. He has to be the hero, though. If he's involved with these sovereign he'll continue to be. Yeah. I just don't think he's well. His parents are elderly, so they seem to ignore what he does. I can't believe that his mom isn't calling anyone saying, this is where they're at. Just so no one worries.
Because they're in it. They're in on it with him. I mean, you can clearly tell from John's comments before he deactivated in that one group. You can tell that he is pushing the same agenda that Michael is. I mean, I firmly believe that Michael came by his narcissistic qualities honest. He got it from his parents.
Well, I mean, how bad does Jeannie hate Kelly that she won't even let her know where her own daughter is?
Right. Well, I mean, you saw how fast they flipped on Courtney, though, as well. As soon as Michael decided that Courtney was out and Alyssa was in, it was done. Jeannie was fetching Alyssa beers. I mean, it was just that quick.
Dear God, I know. I couldn't believe that either. And Alyssa's wearing her clothes. Did her mother-in-law not say, or, you know, whatever she is?
Exactly. And if we think about it, I mean, Courtney was amazing to Michael. She did exactly everything he wanted her to do down to a T, and it still wasn't good enough for him or his parents, you know?
Yeah, I would say Courtney was quite amazing to him. I mean, I just want to know also, where's the money? Because her summation of where all the money went didn't make sense. I'm no accountant, but I do know 1 + 1. And where's the money?
He put some back to do this.
It's not in his account, so
And
someone.
he still has people sending him money too. You know he has a cash flow coming from somewhere.
Exactly. Thank you, Squishy. The money she showed didn't even add up to the GoFundMe. And Squishy the cat actually is an accountant. I'm not an accountant. And I'm looking at it going, this doesn't make sense. PayPal's, Cash Apps, everything else. Someone's holding that money.
Right.
I mean, I really think that the whole GoFundMe wasn't about attorneys, but for his plan.
Right, exactly.
His end
Like
plan.
I said, he's had this end game since he started this. This has always been the last resort plan.
I think he really knew he wasn't going to get his way with the courts. He knows Kelly's not a bad mom. He knew that it would at least be 50-50 custody. He knew that. He didn't think that. And again, it's not about his daughter. He thinks like she's something else. When he's like, spread your angel wings for me. I'm going to build a crystal garden. And I mean, yeah, Brett, his mother or father could be holding the money. That GoFundMe, I couldn't believe watching that. Every morning before I even checked my own checking account, I looked at their GoFundMe and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I heard he said to Will he wasn't going to show them bank statements because it would show what he planned if he lost. Is that true? I never heard that, but I didn't watch any of that. You guys kept me informed about all that stuff. Squishy's an accountant. Squishy Cat is. So if you guys have any tax problems or anything, just let Squishy know. And Lisa, her friend, and I'm partly to blame for this. She's taken a beating over this too, and this woman didn't deserve it.
No, she didn't.
I mean, dear God, the way she was manipulated and used and her words were twisted was insane.
Yep.
And I can't apologize to her enough, honestly. Does Squishy do U.S. taxes too? Oh, yeah, Squishy does everything. Actually, I don't know. I thought there was supposed to be a hearing on Monday, but I haven't heard if there was or not. Does anyone know if they had the hearing on Monday and they're just trying to track them down? Because on Monday is when the missing persons report was filed as well.
I haven't heard any updates on it.
Nope. And another thing, Michael really thought this was going to hit the mainstream media. Is Jake employable now? I hope so. Because, here's the thing. Black Lives Matter. When you put those type of accusations on someone, usually the boss man doesn't say, oh, yeah, just stay here and work and, we'll figure it out after trial. No, you're done. I mean, they even said at one point that both Kelly and Jake were in jail. Remember that? But It was a secret jail. A secret jail. And I'm like, okay, so they're in the Dallas metro area. And this county actually housed Lee Harvey Oswald, but you're telling me there's a secret jail for these two?
Right.
A man that was suspected of killing President Kennedy was in jail. Everybody knew where he was, but they get a secret jail? Now, Black Lives Matter, I'm saying if he went to trial, I'm just speaking like if he was under suspicion. No, he was never charged with anything. Neither was Kelly. There was no secret jail. There was nothing.
And at this point, it's safe to say they've been cleared too.
Okay, back to stolen innocence. Look at that with Argelio Pupo and Morgan Keene. When the little girl told her grandmother what had been done to her, the grandmother called 911. Other things went on. She told the aunt, but I'm just cutting to the chase. Called 911. They came out there. They talked to her. All right. Fast forward a few hours. Mom's in jail. Argelio, who was bonding out for something else, he's got charges on him. He's got trial in November now. I don't know about Morgan when she's ever going to get an attorney or what's going to happen there. I mean, it was a fast process. It didn't take them 2 seconds to figure out that, yeah, she'd definitely been abused.
Right.
I mean, even Sunday night of Labor Day weekend of 2020, they had Sophie at the hospital and putting pictures up of her saying that was from her attack from the 4 men.
Yep.
I mean, think about that. And nobody thought that was odd? That you would wait that many days and put her through yet another exam? Can you imagine what Kelly's lawyer's file looks like?
Oh, God. That's thick.
Yeah, Morgan does want visitation with her children. Morgan also wanted to go back to her house to get proper medical care to have her baby. Doesn't work that way. He also read her diaries, does he? Has everybody liked the video and subscribed to the page or the channel? Yeah, the lawyer's blood pressure, exactly. Oh, I forgot about that, Janine. Yeah, he is. He's suing her lawyer. How does that even work? Lisa put a post in the group. The diaries were fake. I wonder who made them. And some of the people that he's going back and forth with are pretty shady characters. And this attorney of his seems to be co-signing the whole deal. Yep, suing her lawyer. Yeah, the whole thing is insane. So Michael wrote all those diaries. You guys are saying those really weren't Sophie's?
I'd say Michael or Courtney wrote them for sure. Because Michael was also blaming Courtney that night they got in the fight and they recorded the fight. He was also blaming Courtney for releasing those entries, even though he put her up to it.
Of course he did.
Yeah, but he was trying to make it sound like it was just all Courtney, which she did do it, and she did her fair share of everything, but it was both of them.
Well, and I mean, I think some other people had their hands in it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen like this just with one person. It just, there was too many people stirring that pot. All right, guys, I'm going to start winding this up.
Yes, I have to get ready for work.
I know work gets in the way of everyone's day.
Yep.
So we'll be back on noon. The fight was fake. Which fight? Between Courtney and Michael? No, it should have never been online. I was glad when YouTube took that video down. That was ridiculous. Everyone have a good day. We'll be back at noon about Summer Wells. And then 3 o'clock, we're going to talk to Corey's mom again because his father's been arrested finally. So hopefully everyone has a good day and we'll see you back in a little bit. Bye-bye.